Alright, so first thing I like to do is put some sort of jack stands underneath the front. In this case, I'm using these as jack stands, and I just lift it with this drill. And then what I do is I go, by the way, new Michelin tires. These were like 1,300, not cheap. But anyway, we're putting in this new engine mount. These are super cheap to buy. I think they're only like $30 a piece. So mine on here is bad because I have a vibration when you're in park. When you're in park and you are just like stopped at a stoplight, if you have a vibration, I'm sorry, not in park, in drive or in reverse. So if you're in drive at a stoplight and you have a vibration, most likely it's your engine mounts or your transmission mount is bad. See how nice up and high that is? I can put my finger in here. That's how it should be. If it's collapsed, which you'll see the other one will be, like on the bottom, it's bad. So it's just basically your transmission is sitting on this piece of metal, and it's a little thin piece of rubber, which is causing your vibration when you're at idle in drive at a stoplight. So super simple. On the bottom, we got 1, 2, 3, 4 bolts on the bottom and 2 16s on each side. Easy swap over. I'll show you how to do this. So this right here is the front jack pad that I like to lift it on, and it's right in the middle where the engine is in the front. So here's the front of the car. This is, by the way, the non-formatic version, and just use a jack like this to lift the front of the vehicle. You are going to have to raise the sides up a little bit on each side so that you have enough space to get your front jack underneath. So what I do is I use these little emergency jacks to just jack up the vehicle just enough so that I can get that front jack in place. By the way, this is a 23 millimeter, so you can use a 23 like that, so that you don't have to go, by hand on these. So you don't have to lift this thing super high. You just need it just enough so you can get underneath. It's about 2 feet, I would say, give or take, of clearance. So just enough for me to get under there to swap out that mount. Once again, I have the front jack who's supporting all the way to the front end of the vehicle. The rear has a e-brake on, emergency brake, so it's not going anywhere. And I got these as my temporary jack stands on each side, just in case. Alright, so now that we're under the car, what you're going to use is any kind of half-inch impact like this. So the first one is going to be a 16 millimeter for your 2 bolts that hold the actual mount in place, and then the next one will be a 13 millimeter, which is the one right here, and the 13 millimeter gets these 3 out that attach to the bottom of the mount. I'll show you in a second. And then these are the 2 big ones that attach it to the transmission. Then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to support the transmission pan. So you're going to support the transmission pan somehow with a piece of wood or any kind of trim that you might have. You don't want to support it just with the jack, with nothing else. So just do that first, and then the mount itself is right here. So there's the mount with the 2 bolts, 16 millimeter, and then on the bottom you see there's the holes for your 13 millimeter. So all you need in theory is the extension, a 16, a 13, and some sort of impact. And then once again, support your transmission pan with something so it doesn't, so you can get the mount out. On the non-4MATIC models, you don't have to remove this, these E-Torques that hold the brace. That's only on the 4MATIC model you have to do that. So it's actually a lot easier. And then you just take the mount out this way through the top. As you can see, it'll just go out like this and come out this way. So here's the original mount. Here's the part number, by the way. 212-240-0418. This one's made in India. And then here's the replacement Lemforder that we got. As you can see, pay attention to the bottom part. Do you see how much lower this original one is than this one? So what happens is when you connect it to the transmission, right? And it just, this is all that supports it. It actually, this lower piece, when I looked in there, it was touching this bottom part, which causes vibrations at idle sometimes. So it should be, so you can like stick your finger in there easily like this. And on this one, cannot do that. So when the weight of the transmission is pressing down on this, right, it will actually, there's so much weight that it'll just like touch down slightly over here and cause a little really annoying vibration for you. So, you know, I'm amazed actually they don't completely make these one piece, like sealed, you know, like one piece bushings with rubber just everywhere, so that this wouldn't be a problem. But I guess for whatever reason they decided not to do that. So anyway, this new one's going right in, and we're going to torque these down to, I believe, 30 Newton meters, and these get torqued down, I believe, to 45 Newton meters each. Alright guys, so the new mount is in. 216s torqued. On the bottom you got your 13 millimeters. Those are both torqued, all three. You can lower the transmission pan. Now we're going to do a transmission service on it at the same time, since I'm already here. I won't make a video on that because there's plenty videos on that, but super simple to do this one and totally worth it. You could do it in your driveway in about, I would say, 1 hour total, from lifting the car and everything else, getting your tools. Double check your flex disc, which is up there. Flex disc looks good, no cracking of it, I checked. Oil pan's not leaking. Engine oil pan is not leaking at all, so that's good. So yeah, just a transmission service real quick and we'll be good to go.